in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the bluebonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing good. It's strange being on so early in the day, but thank y'all for being with me. I appreciate it. We'll have a small group for this today, but hey, we're going to do this. We're going to enjoy it, and we're going to learn some things. Hello, Miss Kathy. How are you? Hey, Michelle. Lisa King, hello to you. Teresa, good to have you. Hey, Kai. Let's see here. Oh, Read the Bell. So good. I'm glad you're wanting to listen to this. Hey, YouTuber, how you doing? Thank you guys for being here. Hey, TJ. All righty, guys. Well, I've learned some things behind the scenes. So I'm going to share that with you. And then Lana with Truth and Transparency has graciously given me permission to play her videos. And she is the best. And okay, so this is what I've learned. That neighborhood has had several up in double digits, several break-ins, and it's usually during the nighttime. Hey, wanna be sleuthin'. Yay, good for you, girl. Good for you. That's amazing. So yeah, this whole neighborhood and area where they live in, they have in 2025, I believe it was, they had solved about 80% of the crime that was there, and they have yet to figure out who continues to break into these homes. And allegedly, the boss man that was in Florida, those were tickets for this couple and their kids. They were going and changed their mind and last minute gave the tickets over to him. They were supposed to be out of town. So if all this is true with what I've heard, then this sets a whole different scenario for us to look into. Good golly. Did y'all just hear that thunder? Could y'all hear that? It made me jump. Can y'all still, you heard it, Teresa? Okay, I wanted to make sure I was still here. Yeah, it made me jump. We have some severe storms coming in today, and I was hoping I would be able to get through this before it hits too bad. But it is thundering its little butt off out there. So if we get cut off, that's the reason. Doing a point system, and points convert to cash allowance. Their behavior determines their allowance. Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, it made me jump, Retha. I'm not joking with you. I literally jumped. I'm surprised I didn't scream. Here it goes again. Lord. Anyways, let's get going real quick before we get too far off. So yeah, if there's break-ins happening around that neighborhood, then is it possible somebody knew they were supposed to be out of town? I'm wondering, because there was no forced entry at all. I'm wondering if that back door might have been left unlocked, because they do have a dog they let out. They don't have a doggy door, and they would let that dog out. So if that back door was unlocked, it would have been easy for someone to slip between the house, get into that backyard easily. But that's just a possibility. And so right now we're going to go ahead and let me put up my banner for disclosure, because we're going to use copyright. Lana has agreed to allow us to use her video, and at Truth and Transparency, she is amazing. If y'all haven't subbed up to her, you might want to, for sure. Her link to her channel is in the description of this video. So, hey, Cecilia, you're good. You're good. Thank you all for being here. Watch this because she tells a little background about the couple. And I thought that was important to hear. So here we go. Let's listen to this. Let me make it bigger. Here we go.
What is everybody? Welcome back to the Transparency. Breaking: Monique Teppe's family helped her escape from her ex-husband, but first we have a new interview by Spencer's cousin, and it featured here on the Today.
This morning, new questions surrounding the murders of Ohio dentist Spencer Tempe and his wife Monique.
The 911 has got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
I'm sorry, I'm okay.
NBC News obtained audio of a 911 callback traced to the Teppe's home at around 2:45 in the morning on April 15th, more than 8 months before the couple was shot at the same address.
You met with
Me and my
somebody?
man got into it, but I'm okay, I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No,
The family tells NBC News that's clearly not Monique's voice. Columbus police have so far declined to answer questions about the call.
But with cell phones, it's a lot different.
But former FBI Special Agent Brianna Fox tells us while the 911 call was traced to the Teppe's address, it's still possible the call was made from outside the home.
It could be somebody walking by out front.
Again, I don't know why it's the new twist in the dentist death mystery. 2 people were murdered in their home with their kids there, and at least 1 dog, but authorities were saying 2 dogs based on the records from the call logs from the radio. Now, this new twist comes in when they're bringing in back this 911 call that we've already talked about. But here, you're going to see a new person that's going to speak out, and it's Spencer's cousin.
Alley near the Teppe's residence around the time of the double homicide. Hours later, the grisly murder scene was discovered by a friend checking on the couple after Spencer Tempe failed to show up for work.
There's a body.
Police later located 2 adult victims suffering apparent gunshot wounds, as well as 3 9mm casings, according to the police report. The couple's 2 children, ages 4 and 1, were inside the home armed. Family members of the Teppe's struggling to make sense of the tragedy.
they were, warm and welcoming and, handled each day with such enthusiasm. They were just,
So right here, Audrey, new police,
warm.
Audrey Mackey, cousin of Spencer Teppe, the first person other than Rob that I've seen come out and speak. So I wanted to show you guys that. This was just put out about 2 hours ago from the Today Show. Now, this live is to update us. I've been working on speaking with numerous local friends with the victims. So I've been gathering as many people as I can to try to get any type of information. And here's what I want to bring to you guys today, which is, I believe, breaking. If you guys can check out the description of this video, you can see everything I'm about to talk about in an outline type form. Again, this though is a person other than Rob to speak out that I've seen, and that is the cousin of Spencer,
And welcoming
Audrey.
and, handled each day with such enthusiasm. They were just really kind and solid. They're a great couple.
Aaron, you mentioned a person of interest. Is there any more info?
Well, police say they believe the murders took place on December 30th between 2 and 5 a.m. in the morning. This person of interest that you see there in the surveillance footage was spotted in the area at the time. Authorities are urging members of the public who may have more surveillance footage to come forward. We know that surveillance footage can be absolutely critical to solving these cases. You may remember the Brown mass shooting. Surveillance footage.
All right, so here's your timeline here. Monique was married before Spencer. And in 2013, Monique was engaged to be married to Michael McKee, who was working to become Dr. Michael McKee. And so engaged in 2013. Now in 2015, in August, they would be married. And then September of 20, married in Columbus at a church. 2015, in September though, just that next month, A month after they then moved together to Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, the Virginia Tech area. And one of the many sources I've spoken to, one of them saying that
long at all. And I know the divorce was pretty well drug out for quite a while. So the actual time her and him were together, her first husband, was very, very short. And there was no prenup, from what I understand. And then she is instantly with him. Her and Michael got together rather quickly. It makes you wonder, were they together prior to her marriage ending? I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it does leave a few questions hanging in there. I did see your comment here, and I would definitely ask for proof. If you didn't do something and somebody's accusing you of something, I would ask for the proof, because if there is no proof, then you got them dead and right. So it very possible, Miss Rhonda, very, very possible. I kind of wondered myself, but then when I heard about all the break-ins happening during the nighttime in that area, I started wondering if they possibly knew these people were supposed to be out of town. Okay, let's listen some more. But I thought it was very weird that he was living in his car right before they bought the home.
Out there. So again, take that. Now, 2016, beginning in January through April, I've seen me about how miserable in Virginia. And it had a lot to do with her marriage and relationship, but also she leaves Columbus, where she obviously has her family, her friends, and goes to a city, an area where she's never been, and moves there. She's also going to then work from home remotely for Nationwide. And so she's an outgoing person. Her husband is an introvert, and she is basically home 24/7, and he's at work. So they're alone a lot. Her and Michael continued to grow apart, and they would fight. They had completely different political views. He, a conservative, and her not so much. Monique was an outgoing person, again, like I said, and he was an introvert. He liked things like the ballet and plays, and her not at all. Actually, like Monique, I prefer the short North Arts and Bar happy hour and nightlife. She did too. And she would go off socializing with her friends and her couple groups, with her group of girlfriends to go down.
No, Miss Rhonda, Michael here that we're looking at, her husband, the one that passed away, he lived in his car in Virginia and the house and moving to Columbia. So very strange.
The short North area. Monique knew she home to Columbus, and with the help of her family.
Oh, sorry, that was sorry.
At work, her family went to the hall and went down there, moved all of her stuff, and this all was not there. Got it all done, gone. Yes, that means Michael know the whole truth on how it all played out, and if this was a stealth operation and, you know, a true, like, hey, we're going to help you, but we're going to do it stealth wise. Leave U-Haul and we're out. We found out through divorce papers that Monique paid for her own wedding ring and engagement ring, at least a decent portion.
Wait a minute. I am sorry. I have y'all all kinds of confused. Her ex-husband was the one living in the car. She was living in the house. And he came back to the house and it was completely empty. She had completely packed up and left. My bad. Not Spencer here. It was Michael that lived in his car, her ex-husband.
Ouch. Not a good look on paper. Shit. Talk about an image killer, and most doctors are all about that image. At the time of their divorce, both of them were making roughly about $50,000 a year. Again, that's per the divorce paperwork. Now, TNT sources here, this is...
Her ex-husband was a doctor, and yet he was only making $50,000 a year living in his car. I wonder, does that mean he was just getting out of school, just starting to get things up and going? Because it seems like a very low amount to make for a doctor.
Multiple independent sources. They claim that it was anything but a quick and easy divorce. Even though the filing happened, which would look quick on paper, Monique shared text messages with close friends during that separation and divorce period because Michael would not sign the divorce papers. Now, Monique moved back home in the spring of 2016. For the record, all sources that I've talked to said that Dr. McKee, again, did not want this. And in fact, two independent sources, after she left Virginia, she came back and was living for a little bit of time with her folks. And while she was living with her folks for that short period of time, Michael would send her, whether it was a package or a card, and he would sign the card that "Love your husband." Okay. I would love to know what you guys think about that. After the divorce was finalized, Dr. Michael McKee deleted social media accounts, and some say he even changed his phone number. And no one that I have spoken with maintained any type of relationship with him, even though they were all mutual friends. Or heard from him since. One source claimed that Monique mentioned that Michael said he was, quote unquote, never going to not be in her life. And that once he finished up school and received his $50K, normally doctors, surgeons, they're going to receive that signing bonus. And it was interpreted as that once I get my $500K, that he would buy a house right next to her. Literally, buy a house right next to her. That is what she told friends.
So the ex-husband was threatening, once he got his bonus sign-on, he was going to buy a house and live right next to her. So there we go. That's where the ex plays into that question. Was he that crazy into her? I just kind of wonder, though. They had Monique and Spencer had been together for long enough to have two young kids, so they had been together at least 5-6 years. You would have think that guy would have done something early on. I don't know, just lots of questions hang in the air with this case.
This led to Monique claiming that she may need to get a restraining order down the road, and she used the phrase, if these delusional thoughts, were to persist on him thinking that, what do you mean you're going to move next door to me wherever I live? When referring to the headspace that Michael was in at the time, it was like, this is just delusional that he thinks that this what is he talking about? Again, that separation began in 2016. The divorce was finalized in June of 2017. All sources emphasize, and this is important, that Monique was very anxious, jumpy when she would be around him or because of him. And they used the term, like, he was a monster, which I don't know. She would never refer to his name. Anyways, she never wanted to speak to him or see him again. Full transparency, though, no source ever claimed that there was any physical violence between the two. There would just be he was notorious for silent treatments, like, and emotional. It was all emotional, silent treatments. After the divorce, I asked about, Monique dating other men, after Mike, but yet before meeting Spencer. I asked about those men as far as having any weird, offset, interactions. And those sources said that, well, a couple of them couldn't even name one of the people, but one of them said that maybe one person you can even consider maybe semi-serious, but they couldn't even give me names. So talk about so much for swiping right?
So there was our answer. Nothing documented of physical abuse. Sounds more mental. Retha, you're just a hot thing.
Monique had friend groups from all stages of her life. This was a big part of our conversations, which was, she's had friends from when she was younger, then, high school, then college, then post-college, that she maintained. Whereas Dr. Michael McKee, he didn't. A source stated that no one has seen him in years, and I would doubt it if he has made a single significant connection since Monique, because Monique was his best friend. When people say, like, that's not just my wife, that's my best friend. And bros that I talked to was like, we didn't have bro time, he had Momo time. So take that for what you want. I did reach out to Dr. McKee, but have yet to receive any response. I will not. I just reached out once, and if he wants to respond, great. If not, great. In conclusion, I want to know what you guys think. With so many years being passed between, 2016, 2017 to now, it makes the most sense for me to think that Dr. McKee was just embarrassed by being divorced. He deleted his social medias and went on to have another life where he could escape the past huge letdown of losing his, best friend wife, moving out of the state of Ohio. And that therefore the only motive that I can see with the doctor and her ex here, Michael McKee, is in the way that Monique left him. What were the long-term effects from this Operation U-Haul stealth move? Monique back in the middle of the day or the night without a word, no talk, no closure, just poof, gone. And that's kind of what happened on December 30th, 2025, poof, gone. Also, Dr. Michael McKee, okay? And his parents were older, and so there was just him.
Sounds to me like he was pretty attached to her. He depended on her. He wanted to be with her, and she just vanished from his life. Hey, Daniel. Hello to everybody coming in. Thanks for being here. This is Truth and Transparency we're listening to. She's given us a lot of details. If you haven't subbed up to her channel, you might want to, because she does amazing work. So, Pooh Bear, I'm not sure what's going on, sweetie, but you're always welcome here. And I don't know what other channel is doing anything to you, but best thing to do probably is just to avoid it. Ignore them. I mean, Laura was perplexed, told everybody I was on drugs. You would actually have to have money to buy the drugs, to be able to do the drugs. And yeah, that's not happening. Nope, not here, not me. But I just ignore it. Well, most times. Sometimes it just gets my goat enough that I got to defend myself. But yeah, no, I'm on Pepsi's. Dropping Pepsi soon, but hey, it is what it is. Right, Michelle? Not on my wages. That's what I'm talking about. For sure. Oh, and just an FYI, while everybody's here, please do not send any super chats at the moment. And we'll get into that tonight when we do our Sebastian stream. I'll explain all that later. Okay. That's it, Retha. Yep, that's it. My only number one goal is just to make enough to pay my storage. But I'll explain the super chat thing tonight. We'll get into it. But let's keep listening there. Oh, good, Daniel. I'm glad that you got out. You just take care of yourself.
So with that said, again, these are multiple sources that I have talked to over the days. I think you guys are, if you've been around this channel for a while, I would be spending a lot more time being live reporting or here in the office or out and about. And if you could tell, a lot of time has actually gone to, hey, pounding the pavement and talking to people and seeing what's up. And so therefore, obviously that cuts into a lot of time that's going to be like out here. Let's just talk about the case. No,
Pooh Bear, if anybody comes in and says anything rude about you, they will be timed out. Don't worry. Just don't talk to them. That's what I would do. That's my suggestion.
just go find out what's going on. Are detectives reaching out to people? Are people reaching out to detectives? Think about it. Your friends know you the best. Your spouse knows you the best. Your family knows you the best. People from even like your past, how were things back in the day? Who could I possibly talk to that would ever have come in contact with both Monique and, her ex? And a lot of people didn't even know what his name was. That was like people that she had met down, further past, who became friends after the fact. They didn't even know what his name was until this happened. So that's pretty interesting. So with that said, I just wanted to get that information out to everybody. And I'm just curious of the whole, it's been so long. They didn't have any kids. If you read the divorce paperwork, there's no money. Okay. It's not like she got some, there's no financial thing I see there. But what I could see here is how did it leave him if she just up and leaves one day and it's like they never talked about this, but only those two know truly how it happened. But I thought it was interesting that when somebody in a relationship asks their family for help, especially when you're married, you want your family to accept your relationship and like the person that you're with. The last thing that you do is you go tell mom and dad that, hey, so-and-so's doing this and that. And then they all of a sudden have it's just never going to be the same type of relationship. You try to protect that. So I think anytime that a daughter or a son goes to their parents to talk about marriage issues and, hey, I got to get out of this, versus just you vent to your friends. Okay. When you go to your parents, that's not who you're not venting to them. Right. Again. So I think it'd be a big thing that if I came home from work and poof, everything was just gone from my house that was the other person's that I'm married to. They're gone, their clothes are gone. And then, personal effects that would have come before the marriage that they, when we moved. So I don't know what type of effect that would have. I do know that if he was adopted and there was any type of, I don't know what went on in his life early on, talking about like abandonment issues or something like that. But I thought that is there any type of correlation with how then this all played out down the road and why anybody would wait this 2016 and 17, it's 2025 going into 2026. But I was like, well, how did they end up? How did they break up? What type of terms was this? And if this was like a poof stealth operation, family's coming, getting you, we're going to do this all when he's at work. let's go load everything up one trip and head back, you know, and then saying things like, after that all happens, hey, I'm gonna when I get my signing bonus and I get my $500,000, I'm gonna buy a house right next to where you live. I'm gonna be your neighbor. What? I'm gonna be your neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, so again, I thought it was just, woo. That could be a closure issue if things didn't end, you know, the right way, or you got your closure and then you're dealing with somebody who, you know, I don't know. So I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Again, local here to Columbus, people that have been with my channel for a while, they know that. I'm a Ohio girl, born and raised in Cleveland, baby. I'm not going to find a day that I did not root for my Cleveland teams. When we're not playing, I root for my, you know, I became a Bearcat after that. So obviously I'm going to root for Cincinnati even over the Buckeyes. But I'm Ohio all day. And this happened in my backyard. And then small world is people that I've known for years, since the early 2000s, knew and were friends with these people that got murdered in their home in an area that is, yes, there are parts that are shaky, but they'd been living there since 2020, guys. Okay. You know, they just didn't move into the area. They had been there. They had a nice little knit group of friends that even just lived right around them, including their neighbors. So, I thought about it from the standpoint of when she got married to Spencer, I wondered why, if you look up the property, her name's not going to come up. And so immediately I thought, well, if I didn't want someone to know where I lived, I'm not going to go on the deed. That could be a reason. People have also said, it could be because maybe she just didn't have good credit. You know, maybe her credit score got, you know, screwed up, whatever. But I definitely think you have to put in the column that if she didn't put her name on the house, and could that potentially be because I don't want you to look me up and find me. All I can tell you is that I have not spoke to Dr. Michael McKee. Like I said in my conclusion, I think that he was just embarrassed. He got rid of his socials. He completely was like, get me the hell out of here. And I'm going, you know, and moving to, he's done time with different works in Vegas, LA, and now I believe he is in Illinois. In fact, I know he's in Illinois. So people are asking in the chat, does he still practice? What is he doing? You guys, like I said the other night, I was shocked. Okay, I was shocked. Usually doctors are big ego maniac people, and they want their name on everything. You know, I'm the best at this. I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to be the best at this. And there was a huge mistake in the beginning of, wait, Michael D. McKee, and there's a lot of them, but you would think that one would just stand out as being, I don't know, all these accolades and any type of fellowships that he's done and where he's a surgeon. Yeah, no, it's just not there.
So that leaves you a little bit to wonder. There's not a whole lot about him out there, and he's this big old doctor by now. You would think his name would be pretty much everywhere when you go to looking for him, but doesn't seem like that's true. So I'm wondering. Rita says, another theory in city close to me, the poor people resented the fine homes replaced in their community. There was a lot of crime to the rich newcomers. Yes, Rita. And these houses that have been put up out there, this was a big gang area, and it is slowly transversing over to a very nice community. And so yeah, makes you wonder. And I'm thinking, like, within I don't know, so many months. I forget how long of a period it was, but there had been 14 homes around their home that had been broken into. There was a 911 call made, and the lady was saying, and this was just a few houses down from them, please hurry. They're trying to get into my door. And that call came in about a little after 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's 2:30 timeline is around when they're assuming this couple was unalived. So it does make me wonder if this is kind of a burglary type ring. Could they have assumed this couple was going to be out of town? If that's the case, the question goes back to, how would they know that? How would this person know that family was supposed to be in Florida and not in their home? And I wonder if it could be a person they both actually know. Could it be one of his customers? He could have talked to them and told them that, hey, we're going to be closed during this holiday time, and my family and I are going to take a vacation. They don't get much vacation throughout the year because they have customers they have to see. And so it's just something to put out there, a thought process, that if what I was told was true, and this dentist and his wife and their 2 kids were supposed to go on this vacation, did not work out to where they could go, gave the ticket to his boss, then that means it's possible somebody could have known he wasn't supposed to be there and broke into his house. Was it supposed to be a burglary? They found them? I don't know.
I did think, it was nobody, when I was talking to anybody, it was all the same. Nobody had anything that was like, oh my God, what is that? For me to say, what is that person talking about? This person has it all wrong. Because how I would present things is like, well, this is what I've been hearing. How were your experiences the same? Did you, ever have similar experiences? Can you give me any examples? Stuff like that. And, when people are saying, when I first heard about it, within 30 seconds of hearing the news, they said this person's name. Illinois to Ohio is not that far. Nope. Chicago's like 5 hours from here. I did ask people, hey, you saw that video? And every single person said that is not Michael. Every single person said that is not Michael, that person of interest video. Every single person said 1,000% that is not Monique's voice on that 911 call. I'm waiting personally we put in a different FOIA and how we went about it. For a FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. In Columbus, you can put in public requests, and we put in our public request to the Transparency did a couple days ago, and we did it differently on how we were asking for a couple of different things. One of those things is the body worn camera of the officer that went to the house originally at 9:15 that was dispatched and was there from 9:15 until 9:22, and then left the scene at 9:24. Here is, and then the other thing that we asked for was we wanted more specifics on the call that had originated on April 15th, 2025, we want confirmation, because I have not seen it in black and white myself, that it happened at 2:45 in the morning.
Guys, if you go back and look, that April date is on a Tuesday night, and supposedly people are saying they had a party that night. This person supposedly makes a 911 call. It pings to their home. He's a dentist. He has to be at work at 7:30 a.m. and his drive time is like an hour and a half, almost 2-hour drive. Why would he be having a party at 2 in the morning, almost 3 o'clock in the morning? But like the lady said at the beginning, if it was a cell phone that made that 911 call, it could have been their house was the ping, but that person could have been next door, right outside, something passing by, something like that. So it's not necessarily a domestic call from their home. I'm just not sure I'm buying the fact that they would have a party at 3 o'clock in the morning on a work night. It was a Monday night. Okay, it was Monday night. Wild child, thank you. Yeah, that's just crazy to me, though. Not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, if you're a dentist and you're dedicated and you got patients waiting for you at 8 a.m., are you really going to be partying till 3 o'clock or after? I don't know. I'm hoping my dentist doesn't do that. We're going to listen to just a little bit more and then we're going to get out of here. Yeah, Texas Plain Jane. Yeah, other than Friday night or maybe a Saturday night, but not a Monday night into Tuesday morning. It's kind of strange. And they said he was always there in the office by 7:30. That means he would have to leave at 5:30 to be there. Well, a little after 5:30, 5:45-ish, to be there in time to be there for 7:30, because it's a little over an hour and a half drive. So, I don't know. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Okay, that was a Tuesday at 2:45 in the morning. I want to see that for myself. Again, I've stated this last night. For me, the call, then it was the hang up, and then the call back that the person then answered the phone. Can they release the last 4 digits of the caller, of the phone that called? Because was it Monique's cell phone? Was it Spencer's cell phone? Like, let's just eliminate that. Like, last 4 digits, what was it? I think that the family would be able to tell you if those are the last 4 digits of her number.
Now, I will say this. It was yesterday that Lana here at Truth and Transparency did a live where she said that she made the request for the body cam footage of the first officer that went out for a wellness check. That officer went to the wrong house. It had not been put out yet, but because she requested that, the chief had a meeting with news people, and her statement was that that officer had gone to the wrong house, knocked on the doors, nobody answered, and he left, because basically that's all they can do if nobody comes to the door, unless there is immediate danger situation that they can tell. And then she went on to verify that that phone call in the middle of the night was a cell number that pinged at their house. But that cell phone number, they know who that phone belongs to and the woman it belongs to, and it was not Monique. So that can be eliminated.
So you can give out information like, here, block out everything except for the last 4 digits. Then let the family see that, you know? I think the family would know, and her friends would know, hey, you hear this voice, you know? But I think the person answering the call right back when the police called tells me that they were able to answer the phone. There's no issues. I just find it hard that the police officer did not ask, who am I speaking to? Maybe the police officer knew who they were speaking to because of the trace locate, you know? But just because the phone says a name doesn't mean that's the person who has the phone. So I'm just kind of shocked that the police officer, when he called back, didn't ask, you know, what the person's name was. You know, hey, it's kind of late. Like, are you sure you're okay? It's 2:45 in the morning. You know, I don't know. Like, I would have, there's other questions that I would have immediately been, especially if you're trained in that situation, get a name. They don't get a name. Unless there's way more to the call that we haven't got. So like I said, we put in a request. We should get it back today. Columbus is really good about getting you back your requests. So that's good.
All right, guys. I think we're going to stop it there. We got a pretty good idea of background on Monique, how they met, and all the things there. So that's kind of where I wanted to get us started. It was interesting to learn how she moved out of her home that she shared with her ex-husband. It was done very secretively while he was not there. And so all of that was very interesting to hear. I thought it would help us to understand her a little better, her situation. And his brother has spoken out and said as well, speaking about the phone call from that April, that was not Monique's voice. He was very adamant that was not her voice. So anyways, well, guys, listen, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me. If y'all want to, we'll continue with this. We'll keep digging into this. Yeah, she was so sweet about it. Yeah, she was really sweet about it. I sent her an email and she thanked me for even asking, but you know, her reply was, of course. Told her I want to try to get out as much correct information, and she is on it. If y'all were interested in the Idaho case, she is the one to follow for sure. She has been hot on that one. She's even starting to prove how wrong the police were with a lot of things they did with the Idaho case. But anyway, she's on this one. She lives close by. It's Truth and Transparency. Yeah. Charlie to this case. Yeah. And, you know, the guy that's walking down the alleyway that they got on camera, they said he came from a German bar down the road. But you would think if he lived in that area, he would have came out and said, hey, that was just me. You know, I was just walking home from the bar. But if it's a person that doesn't live in the area, Texas Plain Jane, I know this. If she isn't, she should be. She is super great. Yeah. But if it was somebody that was just walking in to a bar, you know, you would think they would park closer if they were far away, because there was ice. There was snow. It was cold. So, I don't know, lots of questions left in this case. And from what I'm hearing, not sure that they have much to go with right now. But we're going to follow the case, and I'll be back on again tomorrow at the same time if y'all are good with that. And we will definitely stay on top of it. I'll try my best. We'll have to see how the storms hold out, if they linger over into tomorrow kind of thing, and how my internet holds out. So, guys, I really appreciate y'all being here. I'm glad y'all want to do this. I've got to be able to do more streams, and this is a super good case to follow. So thank you, guys. I love y'all so much. Y'all come back this afternoon, 5 Central. I'll be covering Sebastian. Let's do some Sebastian this evening. So, guys, until then, love and hugs. See y'all soon. Bye.